the scene shifts back to some time before the incident happened. Wori is lost in the schoolyard while Seul-ki texts Yerim, asking her to meet by the swimming pool. Seung-woo goes to the rooftop to set up a computer. Yerim ends her performance and receives a message from Eun-jung congratulating her on her debut, and she breaks down in tears. Seul-ki arrives at the pool and already sees Yerim on the floor. In the class, Dua asks Harin to address the class before starting the vote for the 16th. Harin tells the class that they are going to pick out one student as the permanent rank F student for the entire term until they graduate. She asks if anyone is willing to be the permanent rank F student and looks at Jaeun, expecting her to volunteer. At that moment, Seul-ki rushes in and pushes Harin up to the board. Seul-ki confronts Harin about what she did to all the girls, especially to Yerim, who is taken to the hospital. Harin tells Seul-ki to know her place and let Harin continue the game. Seul-ki dismisses Harin's reliability as Harin texted in the group chat that Daeun would get punished, but she is still here. Seeing all the girls start to side with Seul-ki, Eun tells everyone that she is on Harin's side and convinces other girls to follow Harin's idea of having one permanent rank F. Seul-ki tells everyone that if they do what Harin says, they are voting against their friends and can seriously damage that person's life. She then asks her classmates to delete the application from their phones if they don't want such a cruel game to continue. Harin and Seul-ki both look at Jaeun because they know her decision can make a big impact. To Harin's surprise, Jaeun no longer allows herself to be Harin's scapegoat and deletes the game. A flashback shows Jaeun overhearing Harin's conversation with Eun. Harin mentions that she was going to trick Jaeun to be a rank F student, which prompts Seul-ki to sacrifice herself, and the only way it won't happen is if Jaeun no longer accepts herself as a rank F student and stand up for herself. Harin is shocked by Jaeun's action, while Seul-ki continues asking everyone to delete the app. One by one, the girls delete the app, and at some point, they only need one more vote to win a majority. At that moment, Daeun stands up and proudly deletes it, but Seul-ki says her vote won't be counted because she's no longer a student in their class and she should leave. Daeun loses it and is about to strike Seul-ki, but Jaeun stops her. Daeun gets wild again and starts beating Jaeun up brutally. And somehow, her attack is being live-streamed. When there is enough evidence, Jaeun stands up and defends herself. She is much stronger than Daeun and quickly holds her down. At that moment, someone deletes the app. It's none other than Dua, who is fed up with all the mess the pyramid game caused. It turns out Seul-ki convinced Dua to help get rid of the game, and Dua finally agrees. She was the person who placed the camera this time, which allowed them to livestream the evidence of Class 5's bullying to the public, and now, with 12 votes out of 22, the game is completely terminated. Meanwhile, Seung-woo leaves the rooftop and notices that the livestream video has been deleted. A flashback reveals Seul-ki asking Seung-woo to leak the audio recording before the video recording because it would surely be controlled by Harin's people. She also asks him to check on the teachers due to signs of grade tampering. In the present, Seung-woo sneaks into the teacher's room as all the teachers rush to Class 5 to stop the live streaming. Mr. quickly spots it above the board, and Principal Lim smashes it under her shoes. However, the video has already reached a large audience and spread everywhere. Seul-ki's team meets up on the rooftop and inquires about Yerim. It turns out she is in the hospital but completely fine. A flashback shows Yerim calling Eun-jung, then by the swimming pool, the person in a teddy bear mascot approaches her. Just as that person is about to attack Yerim, Wori runs in and knocks her down. Wori chases after the stalker. Somehow, Yerim's absence has an impact on the vote today, making everyone believe Harin was the person who harmed her. Seul-ki meets Seung-woo and learns that he had stolen some files from Mr. Lim's computer but found nothing related to school bullying. Meanwhile, Miss Yoon reports the school bullying at Baekhyun High School to the police. Seul-ki informs Seung-woo that Wori was at their school, and he goes to check on his sister. Seung-woo understands that she likely left her room after realizing that Yerim's stalker intended to attack her at the festival, and he's proud of her. All the parents of the girls in Class 5 are shocked by the news. Harin asks her mom to transfer her to another school, but this time, even Harin's grandma is mad at her for being so foolish. Seul-ki's dad asks why she didn't tell him about the bullying, and she says it was he who taught her to deal with problems on her own. She also mentions overhearing him talking with his colleague about a bullying case at the base camp, and he chose to look away. Meanwhile, Jaeun's mom visits her, apologizing for not knowing what her daughter had to deal with at school. The next morning, Jaeun's mom asks her to stay at home and suggests transferring schools, but Jaeun says things are fine and that she has friends at school. She finds Harin's lighter, and Haran herself is also around the corner. Haran asks Jaeun if she does not remember what she did wrong in the past, but Jaeun just gives her back the lighter and leaves. The school becomes a mess after the livestream. The school violence committee investigates Woi, Dua, and Seul-ha. While Haran's grandma requests Mr. Beck to protect Harin from the school violence investigation, Harin holds her grandma and whispers something into her ear. The students of Class 5 are reassigned to different classes. Later, Soo-ji learns from Dua that Harin is moving abroad. Iwa tells Dua's father that she won't protect Dua and Harin, and will prioritize the Baekhyun group's interests first. At a press conference, Iwa claims the school was unaware of the bullying but is now taking action against it. A stranger number called Jaeun tells her to meet up at a place and Soo-ji wants to come with her. Harin soon shows up there as well, revealing she was So-won and a victim of bullying. Harin tells them that she orchestrated having the building of Class 5 designed like this place, which used to be her orphanage, and she is an adopted child of the Baekhyun family. A flashback shows a young Harin bringing Jaeun back to her orphanage and revealing that she doesn't have parents. That Harin was a smart kid at school, and her classmates began to feel jealous and wanted to bully her. Jaeun tries to stop them, bringing up the fact that Harin is an orphan, hoping her classmates would sympathize with Harin. However, it backfires. They bully her even more since Harin always brags about how posh her parents are. Haram learned about the pyramid scheme in class when their teacher asked them about the differences in treatment depending on hierarchical rank, using pictures of the Baekhyun family as examples. Haram didn't know anything about them and answered only one question correctly, for which her teacher punished her by allowing Haram to eat lunch with just kimchi and sleep without a blanket. Besides, Haram got bullied every day and decided to do something to get out of this place. One day, she overheard the teachers talking about a visit from the Baekhyun family, who were looking for a child to adopt. So, that day she tried to impress Jo-soon with a dance and get adopted. However, her foster parents didn't like her. Haram soon realized that in order to survive, she had to impress Jo-soon, so she studied hard and acted determined to impress her grandmother. Jaeun apologizes to Harin, just as the lighter Harin set behind a curtain drops on the floor and the school start to catch fire. Back to the present, Harin states that Jaeun betrayed her wasn't the reason she bullied Jaeun. Before revealing the reason, she pours a chunk of drugs into her mouth. Jaeun tries to stop her, but Harin slaps her and starts to choke Jaeun. At that moment, Soo-ji realizes Harin set them up with the fire, which is reaching the hall where they stand. Soo-ji grabs Jaeun's hand and drags her out, but Harin falls to the floor because of the drugs, and the fire causes the door behind her to explode. Firefighters receive the alarm and hurry to the scene. Luckily, the three girls are rescued in time and taken to the hospital. Doa's father hires someone to post an article exposing Harin and her bullying at school. Iwa confronts him, and he admits that he did it to get revenge on the Baekhyun family for using his daughter as a pawn in this scandal. Iwa, aware of the fire at the orphanage, decides to coordinate with the school and media to mislead the public. They hire a YouTuber to analyze the footage of the bullying video, cutting out the scene where Soo-ji pushes Harin against the wall. He asserts that Harin is the victim of bullying, while in reality, Soo-ji is actually the bully. Principal Im also discredits Ms. Yoon's report and tells the police that she was just a contract teacher who was poor at her job. Moreover, students who sided with Harin are instructed to lie to the police, claiming that Soo-ji has a violent tendency, just like her military father. Many articles and comments are directed against Soo-ji. The police come to the school to question her about the fire at the orphanage after finding Harin's lighter at the scene. Soo-ji is soon released, and her dad comes to pick her up. Everyone stays at the convenience store to discuss a way to help Soo-ji. The next day, Jae-hyun and Jaeun meet with a reporter to ask for her help in exposing the truth. Ms. Choi overhears them, understands what they are trying to do, and decides to meet up with Ms. Yoon. It's revealed that in September, when she called her boyfriend, Ms. Choi caught the Daeyeon group beating up Soo-ji on camera and recorded it. Ms. Yoon gets the video and posts it online, while other girls from Class 5 spread this video and also speak up about what happened to them. Yerim records a video admitting she was a bystander who didn't stop school bullying, even knowing it could end her music career. Yerim is at the hospital with Eun Jong and writes "I miss you my friend" on her cast, then sends this picture to Woo Ri, making her super happy. Sunghwa thinks something happened to his sister and goes to check on her, but Woo Ri is just happy that Yerim cares about her. Here, she tells him about her encounter with Haram at the school festival. Woo-ri gathers all her courage and asks why Haran made her life hell. Haran tells her it was because Woo-ri once unintentionally stepped on her foot. The next day, Woo-ri decides to reveal to the world the absurdity of Haran's bullying and the horrible treatment she received from her teacher. With Sungwa's help to record a video. Jaeun also understands what Haran meant when she talked about the reason she bullied Jaeun. It turns out they met after many years, and Jaeun approached Haran to say hi. Haran is upset that Jaeun is still happy and doesn't dwell on the past. Haran wants to torture Jaeun without letting her know what she did wrong. Later, Jaeun meets Seul-ki at the convenience store. Seul-ki discovers that Eun-bail is cheating because the exam and the test inside Mr. Lim's computer had only one question changed, and Eun-bail asked about that specific question during the exam. Soon, more scandals at Baekhin School are exposed, including bullying, cheating, and grade tampering. Mr. Lim, Principal Lim, and Iwa are arrested and taken to the police station. While inspectors come to the school to confiscate all papers for investigation, Daeyeon is continuously beaten up by her father. Woo-yi's parents take her to a mental hospital, and Seol-ha is kicked out of the national taekwondo team. All of them have to prepare to go to court. Also, the girl in the class who paid to get good grades and the hench girls on Haram's side are exposed and cannot go to good colleges. Dua is also expelled because she is still in the leader group. Despite all this, they don't hear anything about Haram. Dua goes to meet Seul-ki at the convenience store. Seul-ki feels sorry for her, but Dua thinks it's what she deserves for her wrongdoing. Dua's dad is angry that she has ruined her future and wants her to study abroad. However, Dua doesn't want to leave and insists on finishing her studies in South Korea, despite having limited options. Furthermore, Dua is aware of her dad's affair and uses this information to silence him. Meanwhile, Mr. Beck, on behalf of his family, announces a public apology and declares that they were not aware of Haran's psychopathic tendencies and will revoke their adoption of her. They also suspend all their funding to educational projects. Jaeun tells Seul-ki that, although what Haran did was terrible, she regrets being a bystander back then, which led to Haran's villainous origins. Haran is in a mental hospital under a fake name, and Seul-ki thinks it's the most suitable punishment for Haran, being discriminated against and neglected. Seul-ki and Jaeun choose to never again be bystanders and will always fight against bullies. Sungwa enlists in the military and says goodbye to Seul-ki. 2 months later, the school reopens and is taken over by a new company named Mirio Group. Seul-ki and her friends go to the school, and now they are seniors. In the teacher's office, the Mirio twins decide they want to play the pyramid game. They are then introduced to the class as the series ends.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe and like for more videos like this.